This game has no audio troubles, but they should be fixed now.
Classic marathon moments.
This game has no in-game audio balancing.
What? That is wild. That is absolutely wild.
But hello,
right.
everybody.
Hello. Any information that we want to talk about the game before we start, or are we gonna just hop right on into it?
I guess I'll introduce myself.
Yeah, if you want to, by all means, go ahead.
Alright, so I'm Ronny. On Twitch, I'm speedrun. Thanks to Covert Muffin for the name idea. This game is a 3D indie platformer kind of thing. It was developed by one person, just a single person, and another person made the music. So yeah, I'm gonna mute myself for the actual run and let Squeal do the rest.
Great.
Right? Do you want to count down, Ronnie?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
All right. So ARCHIETHON will start in 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck.
All right. So OMNO, the first thing that we're gonna do right after we start our run is quit back to the main menu. At the beginning of every single chapter, there is a long cutscene. So quitting back to the main menu just skips those cutscenes. 5 chapters, we're going to be doing that 5 times. Initial movement, you just walk around, you have your stick. The main thing with this game is going to be cutscene skips. Walking around triggers, doing basically anything you can to avoid cutscenes because they're very long. So here, normally there would be a turtle that spawns in, but if you walk on the left side of this bridge, you can just avoid it. But the hitbox to ride the turtle is still there. So you just have to do some invisible platforming and get on the turtle.
That is hilarious, and I love it.
Yeah. So there's a lot of these like riding portions of the game where you ride an animal. You can skip every single riding trigger, or you can skip every trigger where the cutscene for the animal like spawns. So if you don't watch a cutscene, the animal doesn't spawn. So we're going to be doing a lot of invisible riding. I think we do it for every single animal. I believe Ronnie skips the dragon ride at the end as well. Alright, so this is the first main level of the game, and what you're normally supposed to do in these levels is collect 3, I guess they're called light orbs, and that activates the final puzzle of the area. You do the final puzzle, and then you can leave. Also, walking around the left side of that tree skips a cutscene as well. So instead of getting the 3 light orbs, we're just gonna walk to the end of the final puzzle, do some funny geometry jumping and get ourselves stuck on a little higher ledge, and then wall climb up, and that's the end of Aquavit Pit. That's the end of the first chapter. That's pretty much it. Not all chapters and levels will be that basic. Some of them, I think there's 3 that you do actually get 3 orbs to solve because you just have to do the final puzzle. The gap to the final teleport is too far away. But a lot of them you can just skip. So, end of chapter 1, quit back to the main menu. Gotta avoid cutscenes in any way possible. And now we'll be getting our first movement ability, which, since it's an indie game, it is legally obligated to have a dash mechanic. So we're going to be getting dash as right away. Walking up that upper ledge and kind of getting ourselves stuck skips another cutscene trigger. A lot of these like entrances to levels have cutscene triggers where it kind of like just like a pan of the whole area. There, what Ronnie did was he opened his map, which is a thing you have in this game, right before getting the item for dash, and that lets you move a little bit before, like, while you're collecting dash. Here, Ronny's going to be trying to dash at max height. This is the final puzzle, so we're going to skip the orbs. And by dashing into the wall, jumping, and then dashing into the ledge, you can get what's called a zip, where you just kind of zip up. Wow, that was very nice. That was like first try on both. Oh, there's a checkpoint here, right? Yeah, okay. You can retry the second zip. I don't really know why these work. I think they're FPS dependent, but they work, and they're very nice. So that's the end of Agnaia Plateau. Jumping around the right side skips a trigger for, I don't know what animal it's called, but you'll see it. There's a couple other walking in the background.
If we have a second, I have our first donation of the event.
Go for it.
I have a $20 donation from Water with Flavor saying, "This is definitely me on April 8th to 10th, twitch.tv/CelesteCommunity watching the ARCHIETHON III Ascension speedrun marathon."
This is also me on April 8th to 10th.
It is so us. Thank you for the donation, Nikki. You're great.
So this chapter is not quite over. We actually have 2 areas in this chapter. A lot of them will have 2. I think the final area has 3. So a lot of it will be chapter, writing, cutscene, writing area, and then second chapter. You got that zip very quickly, wow. That zip avoids a cutscene as you walk into the area and lets you get the first orb. This is one of the 3 levels where we're actually going to get the orbs. Just because you kind of have to. We don't have the movement abilities to not get the orbs to trigger the final puzzle. One thing you're going to see here is by dashing as the final orb enters that pillar, it triggers a cutscene and shows you the final puzzle. If you dash while that cutscene starts, you can continue dashing while the cutscene happens. So here for this final puzzle, what you're supposed to do is take this light orb, go around the right side, do some movement to lower this block, but you can just jump up the block on the side and then put the light orb in at the very end. That one is also like FPS dependent, I believe. So that's the end of the second area, and Swag Teleport. That's the end of chapter 2. You're hearing the word orb. Thank you, Carrie.
It's so GDQ has broke me. I am trying so hard not to.
I didn't even realize it. There are orbs in this game, though. Yes.
You what else can you say? Honestly, they're orbs.
They are orbs.
I did forget to say that that $20 donation from Nikki went towards the boss rush in Unsighted Any Percent that will be ran by Rufon a little bit later. So we have a $100 goal. If it is met, then Rufon will complete a boss rush following the Unsighted Any Percent run. So there are many incentives to put your money towards if you are interested. We also have a skin bid war for Unsighted Any Percent should you want to see this color scheme of the protagonist.
Alright, so chapter 3, right away we get what I feel like is probably the most fun ability in the game. Surf is just a lot of fun to mess around with. And there is some tech with Surf. You lose speed as you go up slopes, you gain speed as you go down slopes, which makes sense. So what you want to do is you want to jump up slopes, so that way you don't lose speed as you go up them, but then you obviously, once you're at the top of the slope, you can go down. There's a soft speed cap on surfing, but jumping loses you speed at a slower rate than going up a slope would. Opposed to surfing, though, is just a lot of corner cutting and trying to hit slopes where you can. Also, yeah, this area is just beautiful. This is easily my favorite chapter.
This game is gorgeous. Someone said in chat that it's how the heck was this made by one person? It's really beautiful.
This is a passion project that went on for like a really long time, I believe. And I mean, the product shows it. Here, dashing over this ledge lets you skip a slow motion trigger that only happens, it only triggers when you're surfing in it, so. Walking around the left side skips a cutscene trigger for this area. Also, sadly, even though this is probably my favorite chapter and the best chapter, we're gonna skip the whole thing. So here, Ronnie's gonna lower his FPS down to 30 to make this trick work. Stand on this snowball. This is like really precise. Stand at the very edge and then activate it. Yo, first try fling.
Oh my
So
god.
yeah, this is a thing in this game. This is probably the hardest tech. You just do a snowball fling. So what that did, it takes us all the way to the second area of this game. So this is the final puzzle of the second area, even though we were just in the first area. And then by just jumping over here, you can get right to the end, hit the teleporter. So that is a huge skip. That's super impressive that you got that first try, actually.
How much time does that save?
Oh god, probably like 3 or 4 minutes, I want to say. I don't know exactly.
That sounds right.
It skips the entirety of the first area, it skips a jellyfish riding cutscene, and then it skips you straight to the end of the second area. It's just, you just fly so fast.
I have time for a few donations, or?
You have time for a few, yeah.
I have a $50 donation from Melfi Liss with no comment, but we appreciate the very, very generous donation. I also have a $27.43 donation from Amber Loves Archie, saying, God, I love Archie. Greetings from Germany.
God, I love Archie.
God, I love Archie.
Alright, so we have our third ability in the game, which is teleport. This one's very flashy, but not very useful. One thing about these teleports is, I don't know if you know, Ronnie, is it just a raw 50-50 chance on if you get fast or slow animation here? Because that's a thing. Every time you take a teleport, you either get teleported right away, or it does kind of like a slowdown. I don't know if it's deterministic or what, but there's a lot of teleports, and you want them to be fast, so getting them to be slow teleports kind of sucks.
It's the same with most of the use things, like when you use the thing at the end, or it's the same random slow motion thing.
Oh, gotcha. Alright, so right there, that is the first, like, area cutscene that we actually have to watch. There's no way to skip it. I think it encompasses the entire area that you teleport into. So the first level for Chapter 4, we're going to run right to the final puzzle, do some surf shenanigans, and then jump over here, and then do some more zips. Oh. These zips feel way more inconsistent. I think the geometry at the top makes it harder to like ledge grab.
I don't know what that was.
Alright, very nice. So jumping around that left side lets you skip the pterodactyl cutscene. It just kind of looks at you and then lets you ride on it. So you get to do some more invisible riding.
There's something very, very, like, it just looks so, the landscapes are so vast, and I just see this one little character just float, and like, it almost looks correct.
It almost looks right, but also he's just not moving.
True.
Alright, we've got a little interlude area in between the two main levels of this chapter. Just get to do some more surfing, do some more teleporting. Here you can actually skip the area trigger for this by just teleporting past it. You're able to teleport before you actually fully walk into the area. And then here, sadly, this is another one of the levels where you do have to get 3 orbs to actually progress. But it's still fairly fast. I'm going to activate this pillar, which is kind of like a challenge. You're supposed to go all the way around the left, teleport through all these pillars, and then reach the one at the very end. But you can just surf straight across. Uh-oh. Oh, you got stuck in the ribcage. Yeah, that's rough. That ribcage's like hitbox is actually way bigger than it looks. So if you get stuck there, you can't make the final teleport quick enough. Oh well. The final orb here, we're just gonna do another zip. Very nice. A lot of these these zips just need like certain height setups. Basically, if you just like full jump from a certain spot and then like it gives you the right height, so that way when you dash into the wall, you'll just get a zip. So it's very nice. Here, this final puzzle has 3 parts. So first part, we just need to press these buttons quick enough.
I love the little like bullet time, how that looks whenever the character is like about to zip across the screen. That's just like, that looks really well done.
Yeah, as annoying as the slow-mo is, it does look really cool. So here's second part of the final puzzle. Just do some funny geometry jumping, some surf jumping. You can go around the right side, I believe. Oh, nice. Good recovery. I hope you're gonna go for the surf jump here, because it looks very cool. Third part of this puzzle, you just have to push these 2 blocks out of the way. That way you can put the laser in the middle. And we just abuse the checkpoint respawn. Oh, dang, that was really close. You can make that surf jump, it's really precise and would save a lot of time.
Do I have time for a small update?
You do. This is the end of chapter 4.
Sure. So I have a $10 donations from Chuckles W73 saying, good luck, have fun to everyone involved in ARCHIETHON. Thank you so much, Chuckles. You are great. With that $10, we have reached the $100 goal for the unsighted any percent boss rush incentive. So Rufon will be completing a boss rush with a prepared file following the any percent run. $7 also got donated during that to a trans flag color scheme for the unsighted protagonist. And we still have time to get donations for that in. We can decide between trans flag, lesbian flag, Link, or the Knight for the Alma color scheme. So if you want to do a little bid war, by all means, we got time.
All right, final chapter. This one is easily the longest, sadly. Right, we're only 19 minutes in through 4 chapters. You'd think we'd be done pretty quickly, but this one has 3 areas. Here, though, actually, I think this might be my favorite chapter, because you get float here. Float just lets you float, basically, but it combos really well with surf in that you keep your speed from when you were surfing, so you can cover like huge gaps by just surfing to gain speed and then floating across it. Here, Ronny's gonna skip going up a mountain by just surfing and floating off way earlier and hitting the updraft as soon as you can. These updrafts kind of suck. It's just a byproduct of the float mechanic. They're very slow vertical movement, but we have to stick to them. At this point, we have our full movement kit, so just gonna be skipping cutscene triggers as we enter areas, doing this flying squirrel jump. You can stand on the squirrel, activate it, and then jump off of it to get to this island faster. That's one of my favorite strats. Oh, just barely missed the float jump. Here what Ronny's trying to do is surf, tap float for just a second to get a bit more speed, and then dash to reach the orb. Normally you have to do a little side challenge for that. Got a second try though, so all is good. This is the last level where we have to get 3 orbs to actually complete it. So the final puzzle here for this level is just, you're supposed to go around and find the solutions for these pillars, for what to make them, but Ronny already knows the solutions. You just enter them very quickly. You might be able to hear that Ronny can actually press a pillar while these cutscenes are happening. And also, by dashing as you interact with the pillars, you can move more quickly after activating it compared to normal. So these pillars normally would be really slow, but we're given a lot of options to make it speed up. That's the end of the first of 3 areas in this final chapter. Here we're going to get a huge speed boost from this portal, and then if you actually go under that rock, you can keep your speed and just go to the left and teleport, skipping a huge section, kind of straightforward. Are you getting the checkpoint? Okay, good. Yeah. Here you're gonna do a skip for this second area, and you kind of need the checkpoint. It's really rough if you don't do it, because if you don't get that checkpoint, you would respawn all the way back in the first area of the game.
Oh no.
Yeah. So we're gonna do some funny geometry surfing here, build up a ton of speed, and then float across these gaps. The second one is really precise. You just need the right angle set up, and you need a good jump. That looks good. Might need a dash at the end, but that looks good. Very nice. Alright, so that is the end of the second area, and then this precise movement that Ronnie's doing skips the cutscene trigger for the dragon to spawn. Very nice. Okay, first try. That's definitely the hardest, like, cutscene trigger skip. It's a very janky cutscene area, so you have to actually, like, go around the mountain. It's a very long cutscene still. So even if you fall, it's probably worth going for like a second time. But Ronnie gets it first try.
But that skip actually changed to keyboard and mouse because it's much better than controller. It's a good skip.
You gotta love games that give you that option. You can just use either or at any given moment.
Yeah, we're supposed to be riding a dragon right here. But instead, we're just defying gravity. I guess we did just get float, though, so it almost makes sense at this point. But this is our final riding cutscene. We only have one more area and then the final tower to climb. So we're almost at the end.
I've seen a lot of people asking. There's been a couple people who said, I need to get this game now. I assume it's available on Steam, or...
It is on Steam, yes. I think it's on consoles as well.
Nice.
I don't know if it's on Switch. Yeah, I definitely recommend playing this game because there is kind of a story, right? We're skipping every cutscene, and we're just skipping past almost every area, just going right to the final puzzle. So definitely worth checking out. Alright, final area of the game. Same as every other area, we're going to skip straight to the final puzzle. Except it's not going to be so easy. This one is, in my opinion, probably the hardest one. The hardest, like, final puzzle skip. We're going to get in this updraft, and normally what you're supposed to do is activate the final puzzle, right? Get 3 orbs, and then this thing... the circle thing will activate and you can go in it and it'll shoot you out towards the tower. But it's not on right now. So instead, what Ronnie's going to do is actually land on top of it and then surf. You have to get enough speed from that surf and then float all the way over to this tower and hit the checkpoint on the other side of the tower. So that way, once you fall and once you respawn, you'll just respawn over there. This trick loses you a lot of time on each attempt. It's kind of the run killer. I assume Ronnie is just a gamer at it, but when I would do runs, this trick was very, very difficult, and he gets it first try. He's just that good. Oh, you're going for this flag orb. Yeah, so I think if you surf and drop that orb at the same time, you can like jump and get rid of the orb. Normally what you're supposed to do on this tower climb is take that orb and kind of take it up all the way and do all these side challenges so that way you can keep carrying the orb up. But we can just skip it by just jumping and dashing here. You just hit the checkpoint at the top of the tower. So then once you fall and respawn, you just spawn at the very top. So that's basically the end. We have one more teleport cutscene and then a little bit more dashing, and that'll be it. The tower climb is supposed to be this like huge thing where you're struggling to go up and you have to go off to the side on all these different parts and do all this convoluted stuff just to get the orb up a little bit higher, but we don't even need it.
We are just that good at gaming. If I have a second, I would just want to do... I could say one thing, but if you have some last little bits for the game, I can wait.
Time will be coming up shortly is all.
Okay,
Time will be on the second white fade away here. And time, assuming I'm synced up. GG. That was actually a really good run. You got like every big skip like first try. I think the only one that maybe wasn't was the desert zips. Do you know what your IGT was?
All right. Mine was 29:20.
Yo.
World record is 27:40 something by Nagul. My PB is 28 flat. So yeah.
That's still a really good marathon run, considering a lot of these tricks can lose a ton of time. So that was still really, really good. GG.
GG.
Thanks.
Any shout outs or any plugs, anything that you want to say before you hop out about OMNO or anything else, or where we can find you?
Sure, my Twitch is speedrun1. Shoutouts to the OMNO Discord. There's not many people there. It's a tiny speedrun community. I totally forgot to ping there when I started the run. I hope they won't be mad. And I will do Ori All Skills race with Rin on Sunday. So you can catch that too.
Yo.
Yeah. Let's go, Archie.
Let's go, Archie. Wheel, anything on your end, or?
Let's go, Archie.
Let's go, Archie.